Over the past few days, I've gone from frankly knowing nothing about Solarpunk Arcologies to being absolutely fascinated with the idea of combining the two. And this is because I truly believe that this could be exactly what we need. The silver bullet, the thing that could save the world. If you can't tell, I am very excited to present this concept, but I gotta slow down here. So to start, how did we even get here? Well, the arcology idea came from you guys on Discord and in the comment section. The idea of Solarpunk came while I was researching arcologies, and since they have a surprising number of parallels, I wanted to put them together. So what is arcology and what is Solarpunk? Well, arcology comes from architecture and ecology, and it's the idea of building ultra-dense, self-sustaining cities that minimize environmental impact. We're going to get into all the benefits of these soon. Solarpunk is still a new concept, but you're probably familiar with cyberpunk, its close cousin, except it's a very different path. It's the idea that we could use advanced technologies to live symbiotically with nature and within communities the way our brain was designed to. As I said, this concept still is very new. There seems to be a collective art style made around it, ironically created by AI, but there's not a distinctive architecture style yet. This is something I hope to change with the help of you guys. But to jump back into arcologies for a second here. Over the years, they have taken two forms, which I'm labeling modern day and original. The original's intention was to create compact cities with self-sustaining ecosystems that blend architecture and ecology. An example of this is Arcosanti, which was built by the pioneer of arcologies. You can see how it blends into the landscape and keeps a relatively low profile. The modern idea has started to forget the blend of architecture and ecology. A close example of this is NEOM's line, which isn't explicitly advertised as an arcology, but it carries the majority of its principles. I do find this new form super fascinating, and the fact that Saudi Arabia is even attempting to build a portion of this just blows me away. But when you get a massive line in the desert with lush forest interiors, being environmentally friendly seems like an empty promise. This is the beginning of my issues with the idea of arcologies. Sure, it eliminates cars and roads, but building 100 walkway paths stacked on top of each other can't be any better. I do like the idea of compacting the amount of space needed so that we have a smaller footprint, but a 170-kilometer glass line, I mean, think of the birds. But in all seriousness, I'm just getting at the point that if you're going to make a proper arcology, it has to be somewhat low profile or you're never achieving its intended purpose. And that's why the original version, which has somewhat been lost in sci-fi, is a much better alternative. So what exactly are the benefits? Well, first you got the environmental benefits. Minimal land use, renewable energy, internal agriculture, and a low carbon footprint since we're cutting out cars and unnecessary infrastructure. Then there's the efficiency. Life is streamlined with everything from education to commercial buildings being in the same space, likely in walking distance. Then there's the social benefits. I just learned that suburbs have more segregation than cities because people are more distant. Since everyone lives in a shared space, there would be tighter knit communities. Plus, unlike most would expect, arcologies are meant to have an adaptive design, as a way to morph to the community's needs. So contrary to popular belief, if done correctly, living in arcology should be much easier on the brain than anything we have today. Even to the point that it could solve a problem I deemed unfixable. So the question remains, how do we combine Solarpunk and arcology to make the perfect society? Unfortunately, I'm pressed on time here, but I really want to explore this concept further, so I'm going to show you guys what I have so far. I've also launched a thread on our Discord and I'll be reading the comments. I hope we're able to gather some ideas and make further developments in a future video. So here's what I've gotten so far. First, it has to prioritize green space and natural sunlight, so going far underground is off limits. But since we're keeping a low profile and a small footprint, so is going high or wide, which means we're going to favor smaller arcologies. Second, it should be built in a way that's easy to come and go, and outside the arcology there should be plenty of green space so people don't feel enclosed. Finally, it has to be built in a modular manner for adaptability and out of material that's environmentally friendly. Ultimately, this is just a starting point and we can really change any of this. I can't wait to see what people come up with, and I'll attempt to model whatever we decide on for the next week's video, just like I've done for other projects. Also, before I forget, I have a fantastic Mission Mangrove update. So I'll say goodbye now and cut to that. Yep, thank you Jack. For those who watched our experimental Mission Mangrove series, I am happy to report that we did in fact grow 1,000 mangroves, and we're hoping to donate them sometime later this week.